right, welcome back. Here we are ready to start another 2.0 workout. Today we're going to be completing workout D, which is our second core workout in our 2.0 series. Okay, starting with some little jogs. Jog on the spot, 30 seconds. Warm up the feet, the ankles. Get the heart rate up a little bit. You don't need to go super intense when it comes to a warm-up. All we're doing is loosening up our muscles, getting our heart rate up, and getting ready to do a full workout. Taking it wide in 3, 2, 1. Wide stance here, we're gonna go into some wide squats. We're gonna go down and up, just like this. Weight in the heels, warming up the quads, warming up the glutes. Down and up, nice and wide. Try to keep those knees apart. Warming up the legs, getting a nice stretch. Few seconds left. 3 and 2 and 1. Then we're going into some chest open close jacks. Now, if you're not able to jump, you may step out to the side, out and in, or stepping to the side. Warming up those ankles, adding some upper body here, stretching out the chest. Three, 2, 1. Taking it wide once more. Going into our side lateral lunge. Nice stretch there in our adductor muscles. Side to side. Go as wide as you can and go as low as you can. Really focusing on getting a bigger stretch each week. And we're gonna bring it in. And of course, we'll do some side reach. This is always a great one before we start doing some core work. Few seconds left for our side reach. Opening up the spine and the shoulders, lats, switching sides. A few seconds left here for our side reach. And we'll go into some arm circles. Make sure we warm up our upper body. As we do core, a lot of these moves we're also using our upper body. Reversing. A few more seconds left of our warm-up. And you'll see why, as soon as we start our circuit, why it's so important to do a warm-up, especially when you're doing core. Because a lot of the times when we're doing core workouts, we are using our whole entire body. And 3, 2, and 1. Okay, our first movement for our 2.0 workout D core circuit is inchworms. So we're gonna start with our feet at the corner of the mat. We're gonna go into this movement for 60 seconds. We're walking it out into hand plank, and we're walking it back and standing up nice and straight. Starting in just a few seconds. Ready? And go ahead. Walk it out, walk it back, and up. Now, if you've completed our 1.0 series, we did do inchworms during our workout C. But in our 2.0 program, we've now paired up the inchworm with more core exercises in this D circuit here that focuses on full body core. Walk it out, walk it back, and up. Walking it out into hand plank. Make sure the hands are beneath your shoulders and bringing it up nice and straight. One more here and back. Great. Next movement, we'll need a dumbbell or a kettlebell. We're gonna be going into some side bends. So we're standing nice and wide, dropping our knees a little bit here. Make sure the core is activated. Starting with our first side, and go ahead, bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Now we have to make sure we know which side we're working on. So we're bending to one side and only straightening. We're not then bending over to the other side. So just make sure that we're only working the one side for the first 30 seconds. And we're gonna be switching sides in 3, 2, and 1. Switching sides. Bend and straighten. There is no movement in our arm. We are not lifting our arm or our shoulder. Bending, straightening. You only really need to go down to about the knee, maybe just below the knee. You don't really need a lot of movement here. All you really need is an awareness of the proper form and position and what muscles you are working. So we're working our oblique muscles here, but also we have our abdominals activated to support the movement. Last rep right here. Next, we're coming down for a full plank, for a full 60-second plank here. We'll be going into our plank in just a few seconds. You can choose a hand plank or an elbow plank. And ready, down to the floor. In 3, 2, 1, and go ahead. Holding our plank. Hips must be level with the shoulders. However, that's also a work in progress, so as long as you're making your way to that form eventually. And if you're having a hard time holding this position for a long time, because you're not quite as strong in the core as you'd like to be by this point, you may stop and take a break after a few seconds. So it might look like hold for 10 or 15 seconds and take a break, but it's really important with moves like the plank hold not to push past where the body's not able to hold proper form. We have a few seconds left. And 3, 2, and 1. Drop it to the knees. Our next move, we need a medicine ball or a dumbbell, and we're going into Russian twist. So we want to make sure our heels are making contact with the floor at this point. Our knees are bent. We're going to lean back for a little bit of core activation. And we're starting in 3, 2, 1, and go ahead. We want to make sure that we're actually twisting our core. A common mistake with the Russian twist is that we're only then moving our arms, but never actually twisting our core. So what I like to do is aim for a tap on the floor. This makes sure, and then also with your head looking at the ball. This ensures we're actually getting a really good twist in our core and making the most out of this exercise. You may go fast, you may go slow, you may use lightweight, heavyweight. You may also use body weight if you like. So we're leaning back slightly, some core activation, twisting side to side. We are also working our arms a little bit too, as our arms are holding the weight. Almost there. In 3, 2, and 1. Now this next exercise is a little bit different. We're going to be using our full-size stability ball, and we're going to be doing something called a stability ball back extension. We're still on our 30-second break, so I have a chance to explain this. Now you're gonna see that I'm over here by the wall. So what we're doing is we're leaning up against the wall with our feet. Our feet are nice and wide. The ball is just under the sternum. We should be able to hold a Y pose in this position here. If we feel like we're rolling the ball too forward, we might have to reposition the ball. So I'm gonna get started right now. We're bending over the ball and we're coming up into a Y pose. Everything from my back all the way down my legs is activated. So rolling over the ball, coming back, nice and slow. This movement is a great strengthener for the glutes as well as the lower back. And when we move up a little bit more for our upper body, we're also working our rhomboids as we come back into a wide position. So we're strengthening our entire back with this move. Nice, consistent movements for repetitions. Coming up and back down. If you have a stability ball at home, you probably know by now a few different exercises that you can do with it. If it's just sitting in the corner and you haven't used it in a while, now's the time to get it out and start using it to strengthen your core. Last rep here, and bring it down. And we have one more exercise to complete our 6 of this core circuit D. We're going to be laying on our back, legs are up on our ball. These are called oblique crunches. And we're getting ourselves positioned, ready to start in 3, 2, 1. So we come up and it's a little slight twist to the opposite leg and back. Twist, back down. Make sure that you come all the way down in between reps. Twisting and back down. So it's just like this. Some extra activation for the core. This is called the oblique crunch. So anything that involves twisting or a side bend, we're getting some activation in our oblique, which are our side core muscles. All we're doing is passing our opposite hand to the opposite knee on the outside of the knee. A few seconds left here. Last one, and here we go. Great. That completes set 1. Grab a drink to stay hydrated, and we're getting ready to go back into the workout into set 2. So we're at the edge of our mat. Now that we know what to do, things are gonna go a little bit quicker here. Starting in 5 seconds. Feet at the corner of the mat. Getting ready for inchworms, and go ahead. Walk it out, walk it back, and up. Make sure the back stays nice and straight. One thing that you do not want to do with this move is you do not want to bend your back down, and you want to make sure that you keep those hips level with the shoulders at all times. This helps to keep the core engaged, and it will prevent you from causing some stress and strain on your lower back. So as you can see, we're using our upper body. We're also using our legs. And that is why we started our workout today with some squats. Wanted to make sure we loosened up all those muscles, front and back. 10 seconds left. And one more here, one more rep for fun. Bring it back up. Great. Going into our side bends next. So we're on our 30-second break. So we have 60 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest for this program. And we're picking up our weight, getting into position. Make sure our core is nice and straight. Make sure we're not hunched over or leaning back too far. And ready. And go ahead there. And bend to the side and straighten. Everything throughout the core should be activated. We're not moving our shoulders. We're not lifting our arm at all. It's all work from the core. Getting ready to switch sides. Last rep on this side and switch. Getting a nice stretch, a nice bend in the core, and straighten. Now we have to remember too that when we add weights, as we get stronger, when we start doing heavier weight with these moves, our repetitions are going to slow down just a tad bit. Last rep here, and straighten. Good, we're on our 30-second break, coming down to the floor. Always make sure that when you do perform core movements that you have proper form to reduce the risk of injury or strain on the lower back or any other parts of the body. And getting ready here to go into our plank, hand plank or elbow plank, your choice, and go ahead. And checking in just to make sure that our hips are level with our shoulders. I always used to love the Zoom workouts because you were able to see yourself on the screen and you were able to check your own form. So if you do have a computer and you can get into Zoom, that's a great tool to use. If you're really trying to figure out maybe why certain movements aren't feeling like they should, it's a great thing to use to make sure that you can watch yourself as you work out. Almost there. About 15 seconds, a little bit less, 10 seconds left. Hang on to that core. If you do feel like your form is failing, feel free to stop and take a stretch. And 3, 2, and 1, bring it down. Great. Okay, here we are, we're flipping over, getting ready for our Russian twist. Again, some of these moves we completed in our 1.0 series, but in our 2.0, we've compiled them all together into one awesome core workout. And we're almost ready to get started here with our Russian twists. And go ahead, 60 seconds, side to side. Make sure those heels are planted on the floor. That's always best to keep the hips stable and the lower back. We want to make sure we don't slouch with this move. We shouldn't be slouched over at all. We really need to focus on pulling up that lower back and practicing straight posture as we work on our core. We're halfway there. So we've reached our halfway point. Side to side, looking at the ball, making sure we're getting good twist in our core. Few seconds left. And 3, 2, and 1. Coming on over to our wall with our full-size stability ball. You can use a medium-sized one, but I just find that the larger ball does work when you're doing these full body movements. Placing the ball under our body. And we should be able just to hold this position here. So if you can hold yourself up here for a second, then you're in a good position with the ball. And ready, here we go. Bending over the ball and extending back. Nice, consistent movements. Nice, consistent pace. And making sure we're coming up into that nice Y pose. Arms are nice and straight. The ball is not rolling, as you notice. It's very stable. We're not rolling the ball forward or backward. There's minimal bending in the legs, other than what's natural. Few seconds left. When we come back, we're feeling that activation between the shoulder blades, down the back, as well as in the glutes. Few seconds left. Last rep here, full extension and coming back down. Great. Working our way back over to our mat, laying on our back and getting ready to go into oblique crunch. There we go. Make sure the ball for this one is not out away from your body. Make sure you tuck it in nice and close so you get that nice bend in the leg. And ready and go ahead. Coming up into a slight twist, coming back down. I like to make sure that my hands are right beside my body or my arms. Because when I come up, I have that elbow for a little bit of stability there. You don't have to do that, but that's something that I do when I do this exercise. Coming up, right down to the floor. Resting the head for a second. About 20 seconds left. Ten seconds left. And last rep right here, coming up and back down. All right, set 2 is complete. On our 30-second break, just enough time to reposition, grab some water. And going into our third set. Again, this is workout D, one of our core circuits for our 2.0 series. Starting in a few seconds with our inchworms. And go ahead, walk it out, hand plank, walk it back and up. Make sure those hips are straight. Make sure those hips are lined up with your shoulders. Making sure not to dip the lower back down. Keeping a nice straight posture if possible. Feeling that nice stretch in the glutes and hamstrings. This exercise is definitely going to help you break up any tightness that's sitting in the back of your legs. We're also working on upper body strength for this move, so we push our body back and come on up off the floor. One last rep right here. Walk it out and walk it back and up. And grabbing our kettlebell or our dumbbell and going into our side bend. So if you're new to Shape Shift, it's always best to start at the level that best suits your fitness level. Picking up our kettlebell, getting ready to go into our side bend. If you're fairly new to working out, maybe you have some movement restrictions, go ahead with our side bend. I suggest you start on 0.5 and work on that level for about 4 to 6 weeks. See where you're at. When that level is complete, if you're ready, you may go into 1.0 and work on that level for about 6 to 8 weeks. 6 weeks if you're able to get all the workouts in. 8 weeks if you're working on 3 to 4 of the workouts per week. Switching sides here for the side bend. Now, this is a little bit of a workout tip for you all. If you're new to my page and new to my channel, this is a strength training program. So what we're doing here is we're sticking to one repetitive plan for 6 to 8 weeks, adding weight or adding intensity as needed when you're ready, and then shifting into the next level. So it's always best to start at the beginning and work your way up in order. And last one here, and bring it up. Coming down to the mat for the plank. Your body will not transform properly if you start at the end. So it's best to start at either 0.5 or 1.0. If you're not new to exercises, but you're new to this program, everyone starts at 1.0. Some people start at 0.5. Getting ready to go into our plank. This just to give you a little bit of information about the program and what the purpose of it is. Here we go, we're doing our plank hold. The purpose of the program is to allow somebody to follow a plan instead of jumping all over the place and doing random workouts. This way they're able to understand what a basic program looks like and how doing a repetitive routine each week will transform your body a lot better than jumping around and doing random workouts. So here we are in Shapeshift. This is a plan. It should be easy to understand. If not, there is a link in my bio, and feel free to reach out to me or join one of our Facebook groups if you need some further assistance with this program. I do also consulting, nutrition coaching as well, along with this program. So if you're looking to crush some personal goals, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. And we're almost there. And 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Great. Going into our Russian twist. We only have 3 more exercises left. But as I was saying, I have links in my bio. I have Facebook groups to help those that have joined the YouTube channel and they want to know a bit more about Shapeshift, or they want some help with some of the movements. You need some suggestions. And we're going into our Russian twist. Ready and go ahead. So if you look in the bio, in the description, the link is there. You may book a free call with me. We'll have a little chat. We'll figure out what your personal goals are, and I'll give you some free recommendations. Making sure our core is activated, making sure we're not slouching, making sure we're actually twisting our body from side to side and not just moving our arms. There's so many things about exercises that we don't realize. And when we start fixing form, amazing things happen. We start to actually see progress in our strength and our endurance. A few seconds left. Just speeding up some of the reps here. Almost there. Side to side. And 3, 2, and 1. Our last 2 movements coming right up with our stability ball. Making sure we have our feet against a wall. Putting the ball underneath our hips, just below where our rib cage ends. And getting ready for this next move here. As long as we can hold the Y, we're in a good position. Curl yourself over the ball and back into a Y position. Back extension with stability ball. We're going to be strengthening our full back from our upper back all the way down our body, right into our glutes. A little bit of hamstrings as well. Everything is activated along the posterior chain of the body when you're working on this exercise. Nice and steady reps. Slow and steady. Consistent. We'll beat intensity, always. And we're going into our last rep right here. And we're good. Break it up. And coming over back to our mat for our oblique stability ball crunch. Laying on the floor, feet up on the ball. Tuck that ball in as close as you can get it. Starting in 5 seconds. And go ahead, twist and straighten. Coming up and back down to the floor. A slight twist in the core. Passing that arm on the opposite side of the opposite leg. To the outside of the opposite leg. Working on strengthening that core These are just different ways to do crunches that are safe for the body. As you notice, our lower back and our whole back is secured on the floor. We're only lifting our upper body to get that crunch, that abdominal crunch that you're feeling. Almost there. Last rep here, coming on up, coming back down. And good work. We just completed 3 sets of our Workout D 2.0 series. And we'll be going into our stretching routine now to cool down. Want to make sure now that we've worked our core and our back, we're going to do some stretches. So we're starting off into cat and cow. Bringing the back up, coming back down into cow. Nice and slowly, just releasing the tension throughout the core. Nice and slow, repeating cat and cow. And we'll be coming up into downward dog, heels to the floor, pushing back with our hands, getting a really great stretch behind the legs. Inhale, exhale. Holding this for a few seconds. Coming down into child's pose, reaching forward, getting a nice stretch under the arms, maybe in the glutes as you try to bring your glutes down to your heels, maybe in your quads as well. We're trying to get as close to the floor as we can. Let the body rest here and relax and loosen up. Let go of all tension. Inhale, exhale. And we're going to come on up into a seated position. And we'll be going into our seated twist. And here we go. One leg over the other, opposite arm through. We're going to bring our body around into a twist and hold. For a few seconds, inhale, exhale. And switching sides. Other leg, other arm through, bring it around. Use this arm as leverage. Nice twist there. Inhale, exhale. And straighten. Now for a glute stretch, ankle over knee. Bring it up. And you'll feel the stretch in this hip here of the bent leg. It's very close to the figure 4 stretch as well. And we'll release that one. Ankle over knee, bring it up. And lift the foot. If you want an extra stretch, just lift the foot a little bit and hold. And release that stretch. We're going to bring it around into butterfly. Getting another opportunity here to stretch our inner thighs, our adductors. Pull it in and hold. Inhale, exhale. And we'll go forward fold, feet out in front, sliding our hands down our legs. And as soon as you feel that stretch stop, grab something. If you can't grab your toes, grab your ankles or a shin or something and pull yourself down into a stretch, putting your head in between your arms. And this allows the entire back of the body to stretch out. If you're doing, whenever we do, this is a great stretch to do, especially after we've done an exercise like our back extensions. This is a great way to throw ourselves into the opposite direction of an extension. And it then helps to stretch out all the muscles that we were putting under tension here in our strength training. And we'll bring it up. All right, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this core workout in our Shape Shift 2.0 series. workout D. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you in the next workout.